Hey movie enthusiast, I'm Candra and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the new Hannah Swensen mystery, One Bad Apple. This was the second movie since Hallmark Movies and Mysteries rebranded to just Hallmark Mysteries. And I think I'm really excited about this rebrand because their focus, they say, is mysteries all of the time. So I'm hoping that with this rebrand, they are going to give us a ton of new movies for the rest of the year. I'm really excited to talk about One Bad Apple because I am loving this direction that they're taking the Hannah Swensen mysteries. Before we get into all of the spoilers and all of the things, I wanted to talk about the synopsis for One Bad Apple. One Bad Apple is the fourth movie in the new Hannah Swensen mysteries, and so let me read the synopsis for you right now. Hannah discovers a new side of Law and Order as she investigates a murder and crosses paths with the by-the-book prosecutor Chad Norton. Meanwhile, Dolores has a secret. So that synopsis isn't like great because it doesn't give you a ton of details, but whatever, I watched it anyways. So when it comes to the Hallmark mystery formula, it's the same. So there's a little hijinks, a little mystery, and a whole lot of heartwarming moments that we can see throughout. And I think that One Bad Apple definitely hits all of those things. And so the murder obviously here is about a Professor Bradford, which nobody really liked. Let's be honest, he was annoying and very self-centered, but he is the murder victim in this movie, and so that's where kind of the murder is, and we see Hannah and crew coming together to solve it. The hijinks is her mother. I feel like her mother is the hijinks of this episode. Everything she does is hijinks. And then the heartwarming moments are when the three sisters reconnect for another movie, which I'm really excited about. I love that they're bringing back Andrea into the fold for this mystery. I was really concerned when they debuted the new Hannah Swensen mysteries without Andrea, but I'm excited to see them all together. And so let's get into the themes and the messages. So with One Bad Apple, I can count one solid theme that I saw, and it was about new beginnings. We see that Mike is no longer on the show. I didn't know he wasn't going to be on the show because every time I saw the previews for this episode, I was just like, where's Mike? So Mike is no longer at Hallmark, actually. He has a contract, a new contract with what is it, Good American Family or something like that, which is sad for us, but I'm actually kind of glad. Okay, don't kill me. I'm kind of glad that Mike isn't on the show anymore, and I say that because we have seen time and time again that when the main characters of these mystery shows get together, there's like no more interest. There's been so much buildup before they get together, and then like once they get together, their storylines kind of fizzle out, and it's like, I don't know what else you want us to tell. Like, what other story you want us to tell with these two? So I'm really happy in a sense. I'm happy in the sense that we can get new love interest for Hannah, but also a new storyline to mix it up a little bit. But I'm also sad because Hannah did tear up when Norman brought up the fact that Mike no longer is here. He moved to Quantico. That's how they wrote him off. He got a job at Quantico, and so that was his dream job. And that is her, that's who she loved, right? They were engaged and they were going to get married, then not. And then that whole situation was also still confusing to me, but we're gonna focus on this episode. And so with the new beginnings, we see Hannah embarking on a new space of being by herself again, and looking to figure out if love is the thing that she wants to pursue. But also a new beginning for her is teaching a cooking class at the community college. And so this is a new endeavor for Hannah. We haven't seen her in this space of where she's teaching other people, and so I think based on what we see throughout this episode, Hannah is actually enjoying the teaching. So maybe that's something they're going to keep incorporating as they continue to make new Hannah Swensen mysteries. But I thoroughly enjoyed seeing another side of her, of being this coming outside of her bakery and teaching other people how to bake. Another new interest or new beginning that we see is Dolores. Now, one thing that you can't say about Dolores is she hasn't tried new things, because I binge watched the entire Miss Murder She Baked and Hannah Swensen mystery before watching this one, and Dolores, every episode Dolores had a new thing going. She was an author at one point. She was going to do wedding planning at another point. So it was so many things, and I want to live that kind of life where every time I'm trying something new. And so this time we see Dolores trying out her private investigating skills. Now, is she good at it? I don't know. I feel like Hannah really is the PI in the family, but Dolores has found her niche, and so here we are. And you know what? Kudos to you, Dolores, for embarking on something new. Even though for most of these movies, you was up here scolding Hannah for finding dead bodies and wanting to solve the mysteries, but now here you are. Look at you. Look at you. I'm actually interested to see if Hannah will then join her mom and get a PI license, because at what point, at least your mom is legit, but you not. So at what point is that going? Okay, anyways, I'm gonna get off that topic. And so the second theme, I couldn't quite come up with a pretty title for it, but I knew it had to do, I watched this movie twice, and each time I knew that relationships was something that was at another theme of this movie. And so I think I'm just gonna stick to, for the second theme here, for relationships. So the unpredictability of relationships maybe is a theme. I don't know. Put insert your own title here for what type of relationships we see. So first we see Hannah and Chad. Now, we all know that Hannah and Chad is going to be the new thing, right? Because we see the same sort of, again, I only know this because I binge watched all of the episodes before watching One Bad Apple. The way that Hannah and Mike started out in their relationship, I see the same sort of themes with Chad and Hannah, where he's very much by the book, just like Mike was when he first came to Eden Lake, now Lake Eden. And so there's hints that maybe Norman is still in love with Hannah, and maybe that could be another thing that they pursue. But I also think I really love the context of their relationship, where they have a platonic friendship where they are able to bounce ideas off each other when it comes to solving the murders. And so I really don't want them to mess with that, but hey, we have a whole new direction now that Mike is gone, so who knows what's going to happen. We also see the relationship between Willa and Bradford. Willa is the student, Bradford is the professor. Completely inappropriate. And this whole time, when I was watching the mystery unfold, I thought it was just Willa having, a crush on this man. But then when she left the restaurant in tears, I was just okay, so some ain't cleaning the milk. So then we find out that Bradford was leading her on, which is completely inappropriate as her professor. Willa and Perry's relationship, where Perry is feeling like he needs to defend his sister against this man who is clearly taking advantage of her with the power dynamics that is their relationship. And so he ends up killing Bradford, but we see how far someone is willing to go to protect the people that they love. We also see Stacy, who is Bradford's ex-wife. Stacy and her boyfriend and their dynamics there, where Stacy hired Dolores to figure out what's going on with her boyfriend, because Stacy thinks he's cheating on her because he's been real secretive. But then we find out that the boyfriend, we never know his name or maybe they said it and I just didn't catch it, but the boyfriend was planning a proposal for Stacy. And then we see the relationship between the sisters. Like I said earlier, I really love the fact that they brought Andrea back into the fold of this movie series. I love the dynamics between the sisters. Like, you can see their birth order play out, and I love that camaraderie that they have between them with their mom, with each other. It's a beautiful thing. So I think they should keep them in. We love Andrea back in this movie. So, personal opinion. Did I enjoy this movie? I absolutely did. And I feel like I say that every time. So I did really enjoy this movie because they did a movie with multiple mysteries. So we were trying to figure out what was the issue with Stacy's boyfriend, and then also who killed Bradford. And so for me, when they do that, it makes it a little tricky to figure out, like, either having to separate the two mysteries to figure out, are these two separate things, or how are they intertwined together? And these two were actually completely separate. So it was two different things that we had to figure out here in this episode, which I love. While I did figure out the motive and who the killer was for Bradford, that was pretty easy for me to figure out, and I figured that out by like the fourth commercial break. But what did throw me for the loop is when Willa decided to keep Hannah and Norman hostage. When she pulled out that gun, I was just like, now wait a minute. I also really love the procedural things that Chad Norton brings to this movie, because like, Hannah and company don't be doing it right. And so I love that Chad is so by the book, and he's able to sprinkle in some of those legalistic things that needs to be said in this show. A mystery scale of 1 to 5 stars, I would give this movie 4 stars. Like I said, I really enjoyed the double mystery in the movie, and as well as the dynamics that we see potentially playing out with Hannah and Chad, having Andrea back into the fold, Dolores, and this whole I am very interested, honestly, to see how this PI business goes. Like, super duper intrigued. She did say in this movie that she thinks she found her calling, so maybe it is it, and maybe it'll become a family business, because Hannah needs her PI license. Like, taking it back to the episode when Hannah broke her and Mike's engagement, like, you can't be mad. Like, I still don't understand why she did that, but like, you can't be mad at Mike for doing his job when you don't have a PI license. So would I recommend One Bad Apple? Absolutely. I love this new direction that they're taking with Mike no longer on the show, and having the ability to kind of go in couple of different directions with Hannah and her new love interest, whether that's Chad, whether Norman breaks up with his girlfriend and it becomes Norman, or somebody else comes on the scene. Who knows? I'm really interested to see what happens here. Thank you for joining me on this journey as we discussed One Bad Apple. If you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe. If you want to leave a comment about things that I share that you agree with or not, leave me a comment below. Until next time, happy sleuthing. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Mike. His name is Mike. Forgot him already. So insignificant. I'm sorry. Happy sleuthing. Sleuthing. Oh no. Why don't I ever have this ready when I need it? I lost my spot in my scripts, but we're getting there.